Boys, now we want to move on a bit to talk about operations on positive and negative numbers as a whole, not just integers. In fact, I'm not seeing any integers here, so we're dealing with fractions and decimal numbers, okay? Now, the basic principles are exactly the same, but we've just got to be a little bit careful. Now, there are quick ways of thinking about this. Firstly, here, I'd be getting rid of the brackets. Okay, we just don't really need them. And saying that that's equal to a quarter, negative quarter I should say, plus minus. Now the signs together are different, so it's going to be a minus 2/3. Now there's a way to make this easier. If we are subtracting a negative, that's negative, from a negative, we can just add the two fractions, add them, and call our answer negative. Mathematically it works like this. It's like we're factorising, we'll come to in a minute. Well, not in a minute, but later in the course. But that's the principle. If I'm subtracting a negative from if I'm subtracting from a negative number, I can simply add those numbers and call my answer negative. Okay? So that's something to think about. Now here, we can add these fractions in the usual way, so that I go 4 times 3 is 12, whoops, 12, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 times 2 is 8. So my answer is going to be negative 11 over 12. Negative 11 over 12. Sorry, that's a bit hard to follow. But that's my answer there. Now the second one, well, that's no big deal. What I'm noticing here is that once again, I am subtracting, the signs together are the same, so I'm subtracting a number from a negative number. So simply, I add them and call my answer negative. And what you're going to find is that that equals 2.3 plus 1.6 is 3.9, but remember, my answer is negative. Okay? Now, what's the go here? Well, let's get rid of the brackets. They're not helping us much at all. This is equal to a quarter. I don't even need the positive sign there. And I'm dividing by negative 2/3. Okay, so I'm dividing a positive by a negative, which means my answer is going to be negative. And I just keep that in the back of my head, really. But and the other thing about dividing one fraction by another fraction is that I tip over, find the reciprocal, is the posh language we use, of the second one and change that to times, you will remember. So that's equal to a quarter times negative 3 on 2. Okay, I can use the negative sign there, that's fine. In fact, it's preferable, really. So 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 4 times 2 is 8, and that'll be my answer. I just check my answer to make sure it can't be simplified. And 3/8 can't be simplified. If you're ever in doubt, use the fraction key on your calculator to see if it can be simplified. But that one can't be. And it can't be, by the way, because I can't cross-simplify there. And these can't be simplified within themselves. Okay, a final example. Boys, that's really just 16.2 times negative 2.3, so my answer is negative. That's the first thing to note. So I might as well write that down straight away. And I go to my calculator and go 16.2 times 2.3. And your answer should be 37.26. Okay? Now for homework tonight, what I'd like you to do is on page 105. Page 105, I'm writing this down here. You should have it in your diary. Page 105, questions 1 to 3. Questions 1, question 2, question 3, all parts. And it's important that you show working. Show working. Okay, can you please cut?